Hi and welcome back to Leitrim Daily for 2020. Hard to believe it is a new year. My name is Matthew Earley and today we are kicking things off for the year after a well-earned Christmas break. Unfortunately, I, like most of you it seems, spent a period of that trying to get over a dose of a flu, and thankfully we're back fighting fit, ready for the new year. And today specifically we're going to be talking about sport and I suppose fitness in general. We'll spend a lot of the show towards the end of the show talking about some of the options that are available for people who want to get out and about, get active, maybe kickstart their own fitness program for the year. Those New Year's resolutions are still fresh in the back of your mind and maybe you haven't quite thought about what it's going to look like in practice. Well, we'll be taking a look at some of the fitness options around the county from Mohill, Carrick and Shannon, Kiltoghert, Manorhamilton and as far north as Kinlough. And we'll be speaking to some of the providers of gyms, personal training, group sessions, fitness classes across the county. And hopefully there'll be something in there to maybe get you up off the couch and active in 2020. We'll also be taking a look back at some of the activities that have been happening over the last couple of weeks while we've been off the air. Some really big successes for Leitrim athletes around the county and the country. And I'll also be bringing you news of a new award that we're going to be giving out here on the channel every month for the best athlete at a national, local and international level going forward. It's going to be an Athlete of the Month Awards here on Leitrim Daily, and we'll talk about that later on in the programme. First, we're going to start with rugby, and since our last broadcast, Sligo Rugby Club, including Matthew Earley, have won the Connacht Senior Cup, which took place the Sunday before Christmas in the sports grounds in Galway, and they beat a Corinthian side in the Connacht Cup final to match their Senior League success earlier in the season. Saturday of this weekend then saw them play in the semi-final of the Bateman Cup, which is the All-Ireland club competitions, and the four provincial champions all compete to try and win that All-Ireland championship. Sligo had the tough task of facing the top side in the country at the moment in the shape of Cork Con, or Cork Constitution, and they hosted them in Hamilton Park in Strandhill in front of a bumper crowd of about 700 people. We'll be talking to Matthew Earley about the Cup final played just before Christmas and the Bateman Cup semi-final played on Saturday, in which he played a role in both of those particular encounters. We'll also be looking at the local rugby, soccer and some of the under-20 Gaelic football results from the weekend. Now, the Christmas break was pretty quiet on a sporting front in the county. Gaelic games virtually dormant and soccer just been picked up again this weekend with local games. But for the rugby fraternity in the county, it was pretty busy. The weekend after we finished up here for Christmas was the Senior Cup final in Connacht, and Sligo were competing in that, bidding to win their second ever competition. They did so, coming through and beating Corinthians of Galway in a pretty close final affair, while yesterday they saw them progress to the second stage of that competition, which is the All-Ireland Bateman Cup, the equivalent of the All-Ireland Club Football and Hurling Championships, obviously for rugby. They faced number one club in the country over the last 10 or 15 years, Cork Con, in Sligo yesterday afternoon, or Saturday afternoon I should say, and I'm joined by Matthew Earley now, who was part of that Sligo squad. Matthew, welcome to the programme. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you as well.
Now obviously we're very familiar with each other, but in terms of the weekend, how does it feel? You played Cork Con. First of all, let's go back to the Connacht final, because you had won the league in the pre-season end of things back in August, September, and you came into the final probably as the underdogs despite having won the league. You gave a fairly good account of yourselves over in the sports grounds a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, look, we were on a huge high after winning the league, first time in the club's history, and we were playing Corinthians in the final of the cup in sports grounds, and we knew we could beat them, and we just went out and performed, and we proved on the day that we were the better side.
It was a very good team performance on the day, I suppose. Given that you wouldn't have that much experience, Corinthians have been around for decades and decades. Sligo really only in the senior ranks a handful of years. Yourself only really playing your first full season. How did you approach that cup final?
Yeah, look, I went into it as any other game. Obviously, it was a cup final and there was more to it, but I just went out there trying to play the game I know I can play, and we ended up winning in the end, so it worked.
What was the mood in the camp afterwards? So the celebrations?
There was a couple of days of celebrations, yeah, but we won't get into it.
Given that you had 2 weeks off between games, but then of course you did have that real quick turnaround with the semi-final of the All-Ireland 2 weeks later. I know in Gaelic games you win your Connacht Club Championship in maybe November, early December. You're not playing your semi-final till this weekend. With the rugby, you literally had no turnaround at all. How much preparation, how much did that affect the festivities over Christmas for you?
Yeah, look, when you get a 2 week break, it's huge in rugby, but obviously the 2 week break was Christmas and New Year's, so there was a lot of beer bellies and turkey bellies coming back after the Christmas, but we had a good couple of weeks of training that we got in around New Year's and Christmas, and we were in the right shape now yesterday. We played quite well yesterday, considering.
Now, to put this into context, people listening might not be that familiar with the structures of club rugby in the country. There are 5 divisions, 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 2C, all with 10 teams, so 50 teams in senior level. Cork Con, do you know where they sit at the moment?
Yeah, 9 wins out of 9 on the top of 1A.
So they're the best club team in the country this year, but also over the last maybe 10 or 15 years, they have been thereabouts. In terms of the Munster Senior Cup, they've won it, I think, 14 times in the last 16 years, which is just phenomenal.
And they've won the All-Ireland 6 out of the last 10, so they have a good record there too.
Yeah, they're a big task, and their captain, of course, being a local man from us here point of view, he's grew up in Sligo and he's now playing with Cork Con. 4 Irish club internationals. Sligo, where are you in the league at the moment?
We're just mid-table in 2B.
So you're effectively the 4th division down, and you're, I think, 7th going into this weekend. So lower mid-table of the 4th division. It's effectively like putting Scunthorpe or Chesterfield out against an informed Liverpool side, or Man City side in soccer in terms of Premiership. Like, you really shouldn't have had a leg to stand on. And we saw how Connacht got decimated by Leinster at the weekend. You must be happy. Yeah, exactly. They're in the same league. You must be really happy to have held them to such a tight score. The game was 38-10, but given it was 31-5 at half time, you really competed, particularly in that second half.
Yeah, look, Cork Con came up with their strongest side that was available to them, and they played really good rugby. They scored 4 tries unanswered in the first 15 minutes, and we were kind of asleep. For 60 minutes of the game, I thought we would play the best rugby we've played all year, and there was really not that much between the two sides. I think for the 60 minutes it was about 12-7 between the two of us, so yeah, we're really happy with our performance yesterday and know that we can push on up the divisions in the coming years.
In terms of the game yesterday, though, you must look back and regret some of the handling errors and the mistakes, because every time you made a small mistake in midfield, all of a sudden they're over and they're in for a try.
Yeah, look, mistakes are going to happen, and we knew that going into the game. No teams go into a game without making mistakes. Even Cork made them, but they just were clinical when they have the ball, and they made less mistakes, so that was just the difference. And obviously they had quality and speed that we didn't.
I don't think a lot of people really expected Sligo to compete as well as they did over the weekend, but they did score 2 tries on the day. The first one was a particularly lovely piece of work, crossfield kick from a very congested area to your winger who got over in the corner to set up the first try, albeit already 31 points to 0 behind.
Yeah, look, the heart was in my mouth when he kicked the ball, but I would love to see your man getting over for the try. It was class, yeah.
You were involved yourself in the second try late in the game. Game's 31-5, as you mentioned. You've been competing. You defended so well, particularly in that 60-minute period you talked about. What's it like as an 18-year-old in your first season, looking into the eyes of a seasoned professional, or seasoned at least almost professional in terms of the lads in their late 20s, early 30s taking part against you? Is there any fear in your head at all?
Not really, because I know there's a lot of doubters, but like with young lads coming in, especially into the front row and coming into scrums, but I knew I was up to the task, and I just went in there with confidence and came out the other side with a good performance.
Big crowd as well in Hamilton Park. Like, normally there's maybe 200 or 300 people at these games, but yesterday there was probably close on 700 or 800 people at the game. Yeah,
I think they were the numbers that came back, about 700 or 800 yet.
How much of an impact does that make when you're out there playing, or do you even notice it?
You don't really notice it when you're playing, but obviously the huge crowd does give you a boost. Like, when I play in schools rugby, the big derby games between Grammar and Summerhill, I think there was 1,000 a game that day, and the atmosphere is just unbelievable, and it's a great atmosphere to play in.
Excellent. Well, listen, what's next for you? Back to the AIL action for the next few weeks?
Yeah, we're away to Ballina next weekend, so looking forward to that.
Bit of a short trip to Ballina, to Mayo for the local rivals.
Yeah.
You've beaten them already this year, obviously, in the Connacht Senior League. You'd be expecting maybe to do the same again this year, or is that a bit...
Yeah, look, they've got their 9 losses out of 9, and we beat them there before Christmas, and this is the return fixture now down in Ballina. But it'll be a tough, gruelling game, but we should be favourites, yeah.
Coming into the season, did you expect to have a Connacht Senior League and a Connacht Senior Cup medal in your back pocket by Christmas?
Well, I knew with the team we definitely had the ability to do it, but it was, it's lovely to get them, yeah.
Are you aware that this isn't a thing that happens every year in sport, that just because you've won it the first year or two doesn't mean you're going to keep winning them over and over again?
Yeah, well, it'd be unrealistic to presume you're going to keep winning them, but obviously we have to aim to win everything every year, or else what's the point?
Listen, Matthew, thank you so much. Congratulations on the Senior Cup win to go with the Senior League. It's nice to have a double, and hard luck at the weekend, albeit in the circumstances a fairly decent moral victory. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
In junior rugby, with the two sides in action over the weekend, in Junior 1A, Sligo were beaten by Mohill 31 points to 32, while Carrick and Shannon Rugby Club drew with Corinthians 20 points each. The scorers there, Peter Lavin, Derek Patterson and Keith Crossan with a try each, and Keith O'Neill with 1 conversion and 1 penalty in that game, making up to 20 points for Carrick and Shannon on that long trip to Galway. They were 20 points to 8 down with 16 minutes to go, so a great comeback there for the Leitrim side. Congratulations to them in that particular encounter. Now, everybody involved with soccer is hoping for a better year in 2020. More about what happens on the pitch than in the boardroom for the year ahead. And locally, at least, it was a boardroom issue that saw Manor Rangers' game not take place on Sunday morning. They unfortunately received word very late on that Merville were not travelling to play them on the game. So they receive a walkover in that competition. Not exactly what Manor were hoping for to start the new year. While in the first division of the competition, the Premier League, should I say, of the Sligo Leitrim League, Chaffpool United were the victors in their clash with Carrick Town. 5-2 the final score there, despite goals from Jack Barnes and Ryan Duarte. Carrick were unfortunately beaten to start their year not quite as they would have intended. A very quiet weekend in Gaelic games with just the county under 20 side in action. They took to the field in Fermanagh in the first round of the Philly McGuinness Cup, and they were beaten 216 to 11 points by the home side Fermanagh. They have games coming up over the next 2 weeks, and they play Longford in Mohill in Philip McGuinness Park on the 11th of January, while they also host Sligo on the 18th of January. 2 games coming up over the next few weekends, but of course the seniors back in action next weekend too, with the first round of the FBD Cup. Now, Athlete of the Month is a new award that we're going to be giving out each and every month this year on Leitrim Daily. And we are looking for your help in identifying who deserves the recognition that comes with that particular title. There's 3 categories each and every month, and they are international athlete, national athlete, and local athlete. So international, obviously, it is what it says on the tin. Someone who has achieved some level of success at international level, and we can all think of people who have done so over recent years from within the county, whether it's Olympic sports, people have been representing Ireland in athletics, in boxing, in soccer, in plenty of other opportunities as well. We'll also be looking at the national level, so people who have done things either for county teams or national league level. It's at that kind of a all over the country level, so someone who might have done something at the national championships in their event. They'll be recognised in that category. And then on the next level down, there will be local athlete of the month. So someone who has done something for their local club in a county-wide competition, or a localised regional competition would be eligible for that. To enter, all you have to do is go to the address on our website and enter in the person's name, a little bit about their achievement that particular week. And each week we will be adding nominations. And at the end of the month, we'll take all those nominations together. We'll allow your input in terms of a public vote, but there will also be a panel discussion here on the show, and we'll pick one winner from each of those categories. We'd really like your support to help us identify who the people are that deserve these awards and deserve this recognition. So check out our website, leitrimdaily.com, and you can enter in the person you think has achieved the best results or the best achievements of the last week. Now, because it's the first week and because we haven't had a show for a couple of weeks, we're actually going to allow you to go back to probably the week before Christmas. So anything that happened in the last half of December, and there's some notable events that took place, and here's just a small smattering of them. But on an international level, we had Éanna Madden called into the Irish Rugby Sevens competition that went to Dubai. We had Shane Mallon also called into an Irish squad, unfortunately had to withdraw due to injury. But there are some serious achievements on an international level across the county. In a national context, Breach Connolly won the fields of Athenry 10k event in late December, while Matthew Earley was part of the Sligo rugby team that reached the semi-final of the Bateman Cup and also won the Connacht Senior League and Cup double in the last weekend before Christmas. And locally, in just the last couple of weeks, we've had successes on the athletics track for Lana McGuinness, Sarah Brady and Karen Mulvaney Kelly, while over the weekend we had Keith Crossan scoring a last minute try to draw the game for Carrick Rugby in their encounter with Corinthians, and also Sean Hayden, who was the man of the match for Carrick Town despite their defeat to Chaffpool United. So loads of people deserve these accolades. We want to hear from you, and we want your input into who it's going to be. There's no age range on this, so adults and juveniles will be all considered in the same category. Get on our website, let us know who you think deserves it, and we'll see if you agree with our nominations at the end of each week and the ultimate winner at the end of each month. Now, there are so many people making New Year's resolutions about getting fit, losing weight, getting out and just getting active through the month of January. It happens every year, and sometimes we need that little bit of help and that little bit of push. And I suppose the good news is for us here in County Leitrim is that there are people out there with the expertise and the supports and the equipment and the know-how to help us achieve our fitness goals. We're going to talk to a few of the providers around the county, and we're going to start off in Mohill with Paul Kilgannon of FitKicks. Paul, welcome back to the programme.
Breifne, a pleasure as usual.
Paul, tell us a little bit about FitKicks. I know we've had you on the show before and we haven't mentioned it, but just for the time of year that's in it, you might tell us a bit about what you get up to there in FitKicks in Mohill.
Yeah, definitely, Breifne. Well, you know yourself, FitKicks is a small little gym, family-run gym based in Mohill. It's not nothing spectacular. It's not one of these global gyms where you come in and you prance about the place looking at yourselves in mirrors. We come in, we get some good hard work done. People want to come into the classes. It's for themselves. It's not to better themselves against somebody else or to try and outdo somebody else. Everybody who comes in wants to do it for themselves, and I think that's what makes FitKicks a nice place to be, is that you're not in competition with anybody else, and you can just come in, get your workout done. There's a great social side to FitKicks as well, so we head off on mountain walks. We're actually going off to Ireland's Lights Up initiative, which is starting this week around the country with RTE and the GEA, looking to get communities active. So we play a big role in the community with FitKicks in Mohill. We go out sweeping the roads with the tidy towns. We fundraise for AEDs, so we're working out for ourselves, but then we like to give back to the community as well and supporting the community. And something that you're doing with this, Breifne, with bringing the fitness community together across Leitrim is fantastic, because variety really will keep people engaged with fitness and enjoy exercise and fitness much better than coming to FitKicks every week and spending 5-6 days with me. I'd much prefer to have people come into me 2 or 3 days a week, go swimming, go off to the up do mountain walks or bike or do something else and mix it all up. So that's really what FitKicks is about, is community, coming in, working hard, setting yourself your goals, and enjoying the process and not getting bored. Variety, keeping it mixed up and enjoyable.
Well, tell us a bit about some of the courses or some of the classes that you run in Mohill.
Yeah, well, most popular one has been the whole time. The most popular one has been the early morning fitness, the 6:50 a.m. classes, and they go on from 6:50 a.m. till 7:30 Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, and they're basically a body weight HIIT session. You come in, sleepy head on you, you get your workout done, and you're heading home before the kids are up out of bed, or you can still get ready and head off to work with loads of time to spare. But the majority of the classes that we do are bodyweight HIIT classes, rave fit classes, which is a break class under the disco lights, old school music of the 80s and 90s, and today's rave music, and really getting a good sweat on in that class, moving about, having some fun, enjoying it. And then we have the bars and the circuits and the kettlebells, which is a great full body strength and conditioning type class. And I find with them classes, the more you get people engaged with them, the more they enjoy them. And they see the benefits from using the bars and from using the pieces of equipment, as well as mixing it up with the bodyweight stuff as well. So at FitKicks, you get a real mixture of all different classes, from boxercise on some evenings to just a plain circuit on another evening to core classes, a real mix. And there's kids classes on as well, and there's teenage classes as well. So there's a mix there for all ages and all types. It doesn't matter what type of fitness level you have. There's a class that's suitable for you at FitKicks. So,
in terms of the actual schedule, where can people find out more information? Do you have a website or social media?
I have a website there, FitKicks, FitKicks Leitrim.com, and if you want to download the Mind Body app, MIND Body DODY, and search for FitKicks in that Mind Body app, you'll see all the schedule of the classes and times, and Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, all under the FitKicks. If you search under that, you'll find all the details, classes and signing up and everything.
And you mentioned that there are kind of social things outside of the gym, but the actual gym itself is located in the business centre in Mohill, right?
It is in the Enterprise Centre there on the Ballinamore Road if you were heading out of Mohill. So right in the heart of the community there in Mohill.
And what kind of an investment are we talking about for a month's membership, or is there pay-as-you-go options? How does that work?
You have various different options. One of the good things I find that I offer to members is you're not, when you do sign up to say 2 classes a week, you're not stuck to a Monday evening at 7 o'clock and a Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. And if you miss them evenings or are busy, you just miss your class. At FitKicks, you can just book into any of the classes when you have active credits on that Mind Body app, and you can buy credits from €30 for 5 classes to be used within the month, or up to your €75 for 18 classes for the month as well. So fairly reasonable. I like to keep fitness affordable for the whole family as well. So if adults are signing up for the adult classes, and then you have a teenager doing the teenage classes and maybe a younger child doing the kids classes, there's a great family discount as well. And the good thing with the kids classes is the parents, they head off for coffee, they do, while the kids class is on. So we do an adult class before the kids on a Saturday morning at 9:30, and the parents normally bring the kids with them, and then they head off for coffee while we do the kids class, and they have a good old yap, and we watch the kids for the hour afterwards. So it is a great family atmosphere at the place as well. So there's great discount if you are signing up multiple members within the family, because I myself know it's an expensive thing, fitness can be, and it's something that can be put on the back foot when another bill comes in each month. So trying to keep the cost low and affordable for the locals is one of the aims that I do try and keep.
Excellent. Well, listen, Paul, thanks very much for chatting to us. We're going to move on a little bit further up the county, and hope you have the best of luck with your classes and the gym for the year ahead.
Excellent, Breifne. Thanks very much. Best of luck to yourself as well.
Looking further north in the county, we do arrive at the town of Manorhamilton, and one of the sporting options here in the town is the B Park Centre and, of course, the new B Park Sports Hub. Joining me now to talk about all of this is Jerry Creamer, the manager of the centre. Jerry, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Breifne. You're very welcome to Manorhamilton, and we are particularly pleased that we took on the development of a sports hub during 2019, and we're continuing for the next 2 years with various programs. The 2019 was about getting established and getting new programs up and running, and we engaged with all of the sporting organisations and the schools in the town and in the environs of the town to make that happen.
So obviously that was launched late last year, and I know there's been a bit of a change there in terms of personnel. You will be appointing a new coordinator to that programme this month.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, we will have a coordinator in place during the month of January of this year.
And of course that caters for all members of society, from kids right up to, I suppose, the active age, as well as everybody in between, whether you're super fit or not. Now, for the relatively fit, those who want to get a little bit lighter maybe this year, or just a bit fitter this year, or just feel a bit more confident in themselves, there is a gym here in the B Park Centre as well.
There is indeed, and part of the sports hub was that we purchased new spin bikes, and spinning has become a big fitness activity, and we have a number of tutors trained up to take those spin classes. So that's one of the positive byproducts of the sports hub.
In terms of the variety of sports that are available here, as well as the gym, the spinning, fitness classes as well, is that part of the whole process?
Yes, it is. Yes, fitness classes for all ages and all abilities, and that's key. That's really key to what we're doing here. We're trying to reach people who wouldn't normally engage in physical activity, and there's a particular emphasis on schools in that regard, where it's estimated that up to 40% of school children do not engage in any physical activity, and we're rolling out the programs as best we can through the schools, and without the cooperation of the schools that wouldn't be possible.
In terms of the actual what people find when they come in through the door here, how big is the gym? Where is it located in the building?
The gym is located on the first floor. It's a sizable gym, and there's the full range of gym equipment there. And heretofore it was open on a part-time basis, but with the development of the sports hub, that's going to change now to a full-time business in the new year with the local man here who's taking on the running of it.
Excellent. So people will be able to come in at their leisure whatever time of the day suits them, from morning right through to the evening?
6:30 to 9 o'clock each day it's open.
That's 6:30 in the morning to 9 in the evening, not just two and a half hour window.
Yeah, correct.
It's 15 and a half hours, which is good, or 14 and a half hours.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. In terms of membership, what kind of price are we looking at? Is it pay-as-you-go? Or?
Yeah, you're looking at pay-as-you-go or a membership fee of about €35 a month.
So it's not bad.
Less
than a tenner a week.
Generally, that's what people go for. They go for the monthly membership.
Excellent. Well, listen, in terms of the overall, I suppose, sporting infrastructure here in the town, obviously county champions, ladies finalists.
Yeah.
It's been a really, really good year for sport in Manorhamilton. I know Manor Rangers are going well as well, but for the average person on the street, it's nice to have these extra opportunities, whether it's walking or chair aerobics or whatever it might be.
Yeah, it is actually, and two of the groups, for example, that are involved with us in the development of the sports hubs are the local Holy Souls Walking Club and the local North Leitrim Glens Cycling Club, and they're actively now rolling out programs to promote both walking for those who are of an active nature, but also social walking, which is a great bonus to us, because it means you can go out on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning early for a walk, and it's a social walk, and there's engagement. You're connecting to people, and that's again part of the ethos of what we're trying to do.
And there is a Operation Transformation walk here in town on
the 18th of January. Saturday, the 18th of January, yes.
And if people are looking for more information on any of these things, where can they find more information?
They can talk to me on it. I'll have the details of it. It's at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning, the 18th of January. It's kick-starting from here.
And also all the gym stuff have you a website and Facebook and all that sort of stuff?
Yes, we have. Yeah, we have social media and we have a website and all of that. And all of that information, and the gym will be going up on that.
Excellent. Well, listen, thank you very much for having me here today. It's lovely to get a little tour of the Bee Park. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and I hope to see you back soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Now, it's not just the big urban centres that have options for people to get out this Christmas. Now, it's not just the big urban centres around the county that have options for people who are looking to get in shape this new year. I'm joined by Frank Whitney of Urban Fit Crew, who are based in a very small part of the county. It's close to Carrick and Shannon, but it is Kiltoghert Community Centre there, just up from the graveyard in Kiltoghert. Frank, tell us about Urban Fit Crew. The name doesn't quite seem to fit the location.
Yeah, I suppose Urban Fit Crew started back in 2010 up in Dublin. Myself and a pal of mine who's also from Leitrim, Richie Doran, we started up in the Garda Club. Richie had a athletics background, I had a boxing background, so we decided to start up our fitness business. We were both at that time qualified fitness professionals, and that's where the name came from, I suppose, was to appeal to a Dublin audience at that time.
And then you moved home. Richie, of course, still active in Dublin. So Urban Fit Crew now have two locations, Terranure and Leitrim and Kiltoghert. It's a bit of a gap between the two, but tell us more about Kiltoghert and what courses or what classes you run, the type of people who come along, and I suppose how you're enjoying it.
Sure, yeah. So it's very basic. We run in the winter program, we run box fit classes. So it's a boxercise type class. Tuesdays and Thursdays for ladies and gents. Ladies is at 7 p.m, gents is at 8 p.m. It's an hour long. I have a boxing background, as I mentioned. I'm also an IABA qualified boxing coach. So the actual, I suppose, course itself is all the skills of boxing. So it's really focused on boxing through exercise. It's fun, it's social, it's a kind of a group activity because people tend to have to pair up with some of the exercises, so you get to know a lot of the other people in the class.
Do you get to hit the other people in the class? Like if you really don't like somebody, can you kind of stand in beside them and give them a few digs?
I have been hit myself, but no. Generally, it's focusing on focus pads.
It's the skills and it's the movements.
Skills. Yeah. But some people have been accidentally hit. Well, I've been accidentally hit.
They say it's accidental. In terms of the actual event, though, someone who's not into boxing or interested in getting into a ring, it still is something for everybody. You don't have to want to box to be part of this.
No, what I'd say is what this would tend to focus on is for someone who is looking for a motivational type exercise, for someone who's looking to release stress, for I suppose a social outlet because of the group activity itself, or for someone who is looking to, I suppose, start the new year in a fitness type setting. So it kind of ticks all those boxes. Now, the typical amount of calories you would burn in the hour, depending on how hard you go, is up to 600 calories. So that's quite a bit in an hour. It would take some time to get to that level. But for someone starting out, we cater for beginners, so we're not expecting people to hit the ground running on day one. We work at your pace, but we are, both myself and Paul as the other trainer, we are focused on pushing people as well, trying to bring them up to the next level. So there is a sort of an element of you come in the door, we take it easy for a while, but we will ramp it up. So by week 6. We would have you moving, we'd have you skipping, boxing the bags, boxing the pads, and focusing on your movement and your speed and your skill. So the emphasis is on progression each week.
In terms of where people can find more information, where's the best place for people to look you up on social media or website?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page, Urban Fit Crew. We have our website, urbanfitcrew.ie. We have an Instagram page, and other than that, then all our contact details are up there as well. And we tend to run quite a bit of social media promotions out there. So we have a current promotion at the minute. If you like our current posting, we'll put you in a draw for a free block of 8 classes. So if you check that out, the draw will be done next week. So that would be worth looking at.
Always nice to check that out as well.
Absolutely.
Classes are back on Tuesday night?
We start back Tuesday night, 7, as I say, for the ladies, 8 for men, and we also have a class on Thursday, so you can choose between either class.
Or both?
Or both.
Excellent. Well, listen, Frank, people can find information on your website, social media. What kind of price are we talking about for the 8-week block?
It works out at €6 a class, so we're charging €50 for the 8 classes, or €100 for 16 classes. So it's very, very reasonable, keenly priced to try and get you to take full advantage of what we have on offer.
So really, money is not an excuse. Just get out and get active.
That's it.
Well, listen, Frank, thanks very much for dropping into me, and the very best luck for the new year, and with business and with all the aspirations and the hopes and dreams that you carry of people that come in to be coached in the next few weeks.
Thanks, Breifne. Thanks for having us on the show.
Now, we have had him on the show before, but here in Carrick and Shannon, based in the Mulvey Centre at Train and Gain Gym, is James McDowell of James McDowell Fitness. James, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me again. Good to be back.
James, you're a personal trainer here in town. Can you remind us a little bit? We've had you on the show before, obviously we've talked about this, and you've had phenomenal results with our competition winner last year, Helena. Can you remind us a little bit of what personal training looks like to the person who's walking in for the first time?
Well, a big part of my personal training is the accountability that I offer people. I do bring people into the gym for maybe 1 or 2 sessions a week, but outside of that, I'm big on tracking people's food, tracking people's steps, and making sure they're doing the right things to maybe help them lose weight or help them gain a little bit of muscle. So I offer a number of programs, 6 and 12 week personal training programs.
Now, we've spoken to a lot of people on the show today, and there's a huge variety of things, just from pure classes, almost social exercise, to this more serious in terms of like CrossFit, and we've spoken to various people across the county. What's different about personal training as opposed to those kind of group environments?
Well, I really tailor my programs for maybe the average Joe, someone who hasn't been in the gym before, someone who maybe can feel a little bit intimidated by the gym, and I bring them in, start them off at their own level, and then eventually progress them on to bigger and better things. And a big part of mine, I suppose my main niche, is people that want to maybe lose 10 pound or more without maybe giving up some of the things that they enjoy, like maybe the foods that they like, or maybe alcohol, things like that they don't have to give up their social life, but they can still lose weight and keep it off.
In terms of what's required mentally as well as the physical side of things, because we saw with myself and Helena both starting on the same day, she got great results, I didn't, she applied herself, I didn't, to the out of the gym stuff. How important is it that somebody who comes into you really, really wants to achieve whatever their goal might be?
Well, as you know yourself, this time of year is when maybe the motivation is really high. When you're doing personal training, you're only with that trainer maybe 2 times a week. There's another 170 odd hours in the week that you need to be eating the right foods and making sure that you're physically active. So I suppose the big advantage with the personal training is the amount of touch and base that the person has with me, so I keep on top of people with their accountability. So, but you can't just become super motivated in January and then fall off the wagon. I make sure that people try and keep it going for the long term.
Because it is really a lifestyle choice as opposed to just kind of a fad that you're going to get into for a couple of weeks. Tell people a little bit more about Training Gain and yourself. Where can they find more information? Where can they find the actual gym?
Well, the actual gym is round the corner from Jared Anthony Menswear, and you can look Training Gain at the Mulvey Centre up on Facebook. For my own personal programs, you can search my name on Facebook, James McDowell, or you can look at jamesmcdowell.ie, or you can search me on Instagram as well, and you'll find lots more information. And even if you weren't going to train with me, I give lots of useful free information through my social media.
Now, we have been asking everybody else, and I suppose it's slightly different in that it's not a class environment. The cost isn't shared out amongst a range of people. What kind of cost is a 6 or 12 week program with yourself?
So my 6-week program, that would be the lowest one that I offer. That would be 335, and that offers 2 sessions a week, and then constant accountability. We're actually chatting every single day to my clients, so that's a big advantage, I would say, of my program.
Absolutely, and I can vouch for that. It is slightly on the higher end compared to the other ones for the reasons we mentioned, but it is maybe for those people who really just want to get on and get it done and have that personal one-to-one with a coach where they're getting that focus for the full 2 hours a week that they're in the gym, and as you mentioned, the other 160, 170 odd hours through the week just to keep on top of the stuff. Now, I suppose people would point to me and say, well, that didn't work for Breifne, and it didn't work for me, but that was my fault. And I think Helena is a perfect example of saying, here's where someone decided to take that opportunity, and you picked her because of that mental attitude that you saw in the couple of paragraphs that she sent in as her application, and it proved to be quite beneficial. Helena's still with you? She's been training through the Christmas?
Yeah, she's been training away, and she signed up to another 12-week program with myself, so we've another 10 weeks to go in that. So she's been grinding away all Christmas, so looking forward to seeing her results in the new year.
We won't recognise her by St. Patrick's Day. James, thanks very much for dropping in, and the very best, Happy New Year to you, and the very best of luck to you and to all at Training Gain in the coming weeks and months.
Cheers, thanks, Happy New Year.
One other option, a little bit closer to us here in the Hive, is also on the Dublin Road out of Carrick and Shannon, and that is probably the most recent arrival of all the people we've spoken to today, CrossFit Carrick, and I'm joined by the proprietors of the business, Anna and Fab. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you?
How are you?
I'm great. I'm all the worse for looking at your svelte bodies coming in here today to have a chat with me. Tell me a bit more about CrossFit Carrick and what it is, because I have visions in my head of crazy people doing crazy things on TV. So do I have to lift tires and jump ropes and climb over walls? Is that what CrossFit's all about?
Yes, it is. No, I'm
Not
joking. Not just. You have to start somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere, and then you don't have to be fit, and you don't have to be really, really super fit to join CrossFit, because we are starting from the scratch. We start from the squats, jumps, pull-ups, press-ups, and it's all about fun as well.
But even that can be a little bit intimidating for someone who hasn't done any of this sort of stuff before.
Yeah, it can be intimidating. But as you said as well, a lot of people that just think CrossFit, they just log in and they Google it up and they see professional athletes doing crazy stuff. That couldn't be further from the truth. You could be beside somebody that has never done anything before. And also besides somebody that has a bit of experience, every single exercise that we do can be scaled to your fitness level. So whether you've never done it before or you're an experienced athlete, it does not matter at all.
Now, you're the newest arrival to the town. You're only here 6 months. You opened last June.
Yeah. Yes.
How has business been?
Good, not too
great,
bad.
actually.
Yeah, actually, we opened in summertime because we thought, summer is quite enough.
Quiet.
So we have time to adjust and see what happens, what is there, and to our surprise, it's going surprisingly well.
We have good few
members,
members,
and a lot of inquiries, especially
from
now.
the beginning. They come
so
the first day or first week, and they stay with us. So they weren't into CrossFit. There was a few guys who really wanted to do proper CrossFit, because of family members, they had a CrossFit somewhere else, like in Sligo, Dublin, or somewhere else. And there's few people, they never ever heard about CrossFit, but they were hooked.
Yeah,
they got
hooked, and then now they're in all the time. We have a good base members, and every week we have somebody new. Inquiring, and it's great. It's great so far. We can't complain at all, actually. So, the way, like, when you start a new business, you always, cautious, and you're hoping to have a good turnout, but you prepare for when you don't. And to be honest with you, like, we're great so far. So it's going from strength to strength.
In terms of your actual calendar for the week, how does your sessions look? Is it early mornings? Is it afternoons, evenings?
That's right.
What kind of time?
They're spread out everywhere. We're starting from very early morning. Yes.
How early is very
6:45 in the morning? Yes, that's the early birds, let's say.
So there's no excuses actually, because we are open from 6:45 in the morning until 8:30
at night. So it is, whether you're a lot of people, like, they'd rather do exercises first in the morning, so they can actually have the entire day to do everything else. Some other people, they may find more suitable for them just to come in at lunchtime, do lunchtime classes. And some others just after work, which, and it's great, like, because we have openings from one end to the other. So for anybody that is interested, there's no excuses really. Like, there's any class would be suitable anyway, and the times, they're great,
And this is very important thing, that because we didn't say that at the beginning, and we should actually, that is the class-based. So even if people doesn't know what to do, how to do, we are always with them. We always show the exercises. So even if somebody don't know how to do push-ups or squats, we always explaining at the beginning of the class and showing as well.
Yeah. So you're always there in hand to help out.
Yeah, you've actually answered my next question, which was, is it a gym where you go in yourself and do your own thing, or is it class-based?
Well, you can if you want to. There is opening gyms where there's just a couple of hours each day where you want to come in and do your own workout. You're welcome to do so. You could do it even there is classes as well, provided there is enough space, obviously.
But in general, it's class-based.
It's all class-based, unless
so
it's just...
there's a workout. We have a huge board on the wall, and there's a workout of the day. And even if you don't have any idea what to do, but you want to join the gym, you can come over, check the board, and do the workout from the board if you don't know what to do. And
we are there in hand, we're always in hand, explaining and making sure that you do things properly, like proper sound mechanics, so you don't hurt yourself, obviously.
I suppose some of our listeners will be very particular. Some women don't like being involved in sessions with guys or vice versa.
Yeah.
Are there men only or women only sessions, or is it everybody just in?
Basically, they are mixed. Yeah, they're all mixed. I think you see, the things about this is just that people have this preconceptions about gyms. When you enter in a new place, it's stepping onto that threshold of the gym. That's the problem. But it's a gym that is very welcoming, and everybody's there to help each other. Like, and we're not one of those gyms that were just mirrors and people that look at each other in the mirrors.
We don't have mirrors.
And oh Jesus, I'm doing no, it's nothing like that. Like, it's I think the biggest thing is for people, especially new people, is just to come in. When you come in, you can easily realize you're hooked, because we're there just to do our own workouts. We can give you some advice if you ask us to, and our clients are the same, and it's a nice environment to be in.
That's the idea of the CrossFit.
Yeah, to involve.
To be in. You can't judge anyone around, because you are in to train and do something for yourself. So sometimes when the workouts is really hard and intense, for example, you didn't even realize who is around you.
Yeah.
It's
that's the thing that goes on to
different goals.
Yeah, but that's what goes on into other people say, oh, I don't want him to look at me or to do something wrong. Yeah. And it's a normal thing.
It's not a
thing.
It is.
People are conscious of their appearance and how they do things. Yeah, but it's not how it is at all. Like, as Anna said just a few seconds ago, like sometimes like your clients say to them, oh, what's this guy beside me, like I didn't even notice, like, because that's what they do. They go in, they do their own workout. It's their time. It's their free time away from work, family, whatever it may be. And they just switch off, and we give you that opportunity.
Let's talk money for a moment. What kind of cost is it membership? Is it a per class basis or a block of time? How does that work?
You could do a pay as you go if you wish. We would recommend for people to just maybe just come by and they just stop on a weekend, or the classes.
Want to try,
the first trial is always free anyway. It's €10 per class. Then we do weekly memberships, monthly memberships, quarterly memberships, couple memberships. And
so there's plenty of options.
Plenty of options.
Yeah, plenty of options.
There's always unlimited classes when you decide to go for weekly
for any memberships,
or
monthly or quarterly. Yeah. So you can join in. We wouldn't recommend to join in,
every
6
day.
classes per day. But if you wanted to, you could avail that up.
There is such a thing as overtraining, so we won't quite go to 6 classes a day.
No. We wouldn't recommend. Like our actual idea across it, like training in general, like it's we would recommend to do maybe at least 3 days,
and
then a day
rest.
off, and then again, we wouldn't never say to somebody, come in on a session the morning, and then come in the evening time. As I say, this is all things that people see on the internet. See professional athletes that do 2-3 different
hours or
per
workouts per day.
Wait, that doesn't exist.
It's just not practical.
No, it isn't practical.
Nobody's got the time for that either.
Unless you're professional to get paid.
Absolutely.
For it, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Anna and Fab, that's pretty much all we have time for today. Just finally, where are you based? You're on the Dublin Road out of Carrick Town.
Yes.
Do you want to explain where that? Just before Kennedy's? People
Just
be familiar with
just
Vogue.
before Kennedy's, yes. Going towards Dublin, obviously, yes. Just around the same block with Vogue and Trailblazers. Yeah.
You're just down the left-hand side.
Just the left-hand side, there is a big parking space, free parking space, and 2 nice, welcoming people. Open your door.
They might hold you to that.
Seriously,
They might
we don't
hold you to
have more time.
We've run out
we
of time.
don't have more
Listen,
time.
thank you very much for
We
dropping in.
didn't say anything, actually.
And the very best of luck to you.
Thank
for
you
the
very
rest
much.
of
It
it.
was a pleasure.
million.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So there you have it, folks. There is absolutely no excuse for anybody not to get out and get active this new year. Thank you very much to my guests today and all the successes that they've had over the last couple of weeks. And to you, if you are taking part in any of the fitness initiatives that are coming up through the county in the next couple of weeks, whether it's Light Up Your Nights or it is the Operation Transformation stuff or one of the people that we have spoken to today on the programme, plus the many, many others who are active across the county. Now, if we didn't feature you on the show today, but you do provide these opportunities for people to get out and get active in your region, please let us know. We are compiling a list of all of the different options that are available across the county on our website. If you go to leitrimdaily.com and in the events section, click on fitness classes, and you will find a list of every single fitness class that's happening across the county. If you do provide classes and you're not there, please get in touch with us on social media or by dropping us an email at info@leitrimdaily.com, and we will be more than happy to make sure that you are included in that list. That is all we have time for today. Thank you very much for listening. It's a bit longer than we would have normally done, but given the amount of coverage we wanted to give to this very important area in terms of everybody's physical health, we wanted to just run a little bit longer. Tomorrow I will be back with Faces and Places, where I will be talking to some of the organisers and participants in Leitrim's Health is Wealth, an event taking place on the 12th of February to discuss all things mental and physical health for inhabitants of County Leitrim. Talk to you then.